the streets, okay? And I think this will hit home for Elgin and for you too, Krush, given your wife's profession.
Sure.
22 years I've taught in Cleveland public schools, 8th grade English. Same building, 3 principals, 2 rounds of layoffs.
Jesus.
I'm writing because something happened on July 24th that not one parent in my building has heard about, and I've decided that silence is the story. The Department of Education published a final rule removing disparate impact from its Title VI regulation. Plain English, for 60 years, if a school policy hit Black kids harder than everybody else, the federal government could investigate it even when nobody could prove anyone meant it that way. That is gone now. Effective immediately, as of July 24th, the Office of Civil Rights will only look at a policy if it can show somebody intended to discriminate. I want to understand what the tool actually did in a building like mine. I want you to understand what that tool actually did in a building like mine. Nobody ever writes down, suspend the Black boys more. What they write down is a dress code, a tardy policy, a referral form. Then you pull the numbers at the end of the year and the same kids are in the same office and the same seats are empty. Disparate impact is how you got to have that conversation with a straight face. Without it, all you have is a feeling and a spreadsheet nobody has to look at. And they did it without public comment period. Published Friday, effective the same day. They didn't ask anybody. The department says the old rule was in considerable tension with the statute and the Constitution, and this brings the regulation in line with Title VI's original public meaning. That's the argument, and I'd rather you wrestle with it than pretend they didn't make one. I filed an OCR complaint myself in 2019. Nothing came of it. Nothing came of the 2 I watched other teachers file either. So my anger this week has a hole in the middle of it, and I'd rather hand it to you than let you think I'm certain. Does moving a protection nobody was enforcing actually change anything? Or does the paper still matter because one day somebody might pick it up? Is intent a fair standard for a country where nobody has written their intent down since 1965? And the one I really want an answer to, when the rule that protected our children was quietly deleted on a Friday afternoon, and not one of us noticed for a week, whose failure is that? Yvette from Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm going to let L go first, given his ins in the public school system, and then we'll move to Krush. Go ahead, L.
Let me tell you, we have, I went to a conference this past weekend with some other educators who are going to be doing some policy work. This did come up for us to talk about, but it largely came up from the standpoint of the lack of knowledge that most people, and when I say most people, I'm talking about most parents, have no idea of this thing that is taking place. They won't have any idea of this taking place until it lands on their footstep. Like so many of the policy removals and changes that we've seen take place within the Department of Education, parents will never see this until it is a full-fledged tsunami that has gone throughout their district, largely because this is it's not going to make national news. It's not going to be in your local news. There's no media fair. There's nothing here that has any type of entertainment value here at all.
Fair, that's it.
But it is a very, very bad thing. The thing that I want us to be more aware of, and then I'm sure you are, is that this is just one step in an intentional process to get the education back into the hands of whiteness. Literally, when I mean whiteness is from the inception, the beginning of schools, whether it be pre-K, kindergarten, grade schools, college, the overall intent of schools, even though those intentions have changed over the years, have been to create workers. They're really not looking at this point in time. They really don't care about the discrimination component.
They don't.
And to be honest, they really weren't caring before about it. the process to go and get discrimination charges levied against somebody in the schools, particularly in administration, specifically in HR department, are damn near impossible to take place. So it's a horrible thing to take place. It is something that we should be concerned about. But unfortunately, most of us are not aware of it. And I don't know how to ring the alarm about this because it doesn't have any glitter, any whistles, anything that's going to draw people in. If I talk about this, no one's going to really be gravitating towards it because it doesn't have any type of fanfare to it current. And that's unfortunate.
Do you not think that you can tie it to the dismantling of DEI at this point and break it down the way she broke it down? That is,
I can, but I also think that most everyday Black person, poor working class Black person, doesn't care about DEI. I think they have some awareness of it. I'm not saying they're absolutely ignorant. I'm not saying that I don't want to say they don't care, but it's not high on their priority list.
I got you. They've got bigger fish to fry.
They have bigger fish to fry. So DEI is not that thing for them. DEI has a large influence and impact on people who are a little bit higher than the poor working class folks.
So let me ask you the question and ask both of you guys the question then. Then how do we frame this so that it gains or has that level of glitter, level of gravitas? Because I mean, these are literally our children. She laid it out here. It's not, hey, put the Black boy in suspension. It's not, hey, put the Black boy in, what is it called? ISS or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's these kids end up in these positions, and most of the time it ends up impacting us, regardless of what the demographic or the racial breakdown of the school is. So how do we give this some level of weight that we can carry into the community and tell other folks about?
I think the local level, I think more teachers, more beloved teachers, because I think more beloved teachers have these conversations about what's taking place in the schools, right? Because there's a connection between this and what you're going to see happen and is happening with IEPs. There's a connection there. There's an overwhelming majority of Black males specifically, but not exclusively, who are getting labeled with emotional disturbance. Emotional disturbance can literally be just about anything.
Anything. And that's how
connection
ADHD and all that other stuff.
Yeah, there's no basic behavior. So there's that connection.
Not to cut you off, but please tell folks what an IEP is, because you use that.
An IEP is an individual education plan. It's typically for young people. Well, not typically. It's for young people who have a special education diagnosis
or special needs.
There are 13 diagnoses, and emotional disturbance is, besides autism, is the fastest growing diagnosis amongst Black children in the country.
Emotional
disturbance is the fastest growing diagnosis in the country besides autism.
Interesting.
And you're seeing a lot of Black boys.
Because my daughter has sickle cell, she also has an IEP. So when I first heard, I thought it was exclusively for
somebody who has special needs
challenges. That's what I thought initially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that connection to it. And when you get to start seeing parents push back and call discrimination because their child is being either unfairly, the IEP is not being met, or being unfairly diagnosed with an IEP and their needs not being met, that discrimination, that fight is going to be even more challenging now because that oversight doesn't exist anymore. There's no one there to police special education specifically the way it used to be because your boy.
So how does that get set? Because the only thing that I can compare this to is my experience with my child's school developing her IEP.
Yeah.
And the counselors and the teachers were very accommodating to what we believed she needed.
What you knew, with your knowledge, led you believe that she needed.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Based on talking to other experts, having their doctors, and we maybe it's the educational portion as well. I don't want
to.
Yeah, we also made sure to bring in her doctors and all those other folks to come in on this
outside doctors, private doctors.
Outside doctors to join the IEP meetings to make sure to lay out the groundwork. So it's like, hey, it's not just us saying we want this.
It's other experts. Yeah,
it's based on fact.
But our brothers and sisters don't have that same
network. I dig it.
Network and ability to do that. Hence why so many of them are easily accepted of that IEP. And I don't want to say that a lot of our people are doing it for a money grab yet. there is a component there that if you have an IEP, there's a check you can get. There's a way to get disability. And it's not life-changing generational wealth money. That's why I want to make it clear that I'm not saying that our people
when the light bill is short $50, it might come in handy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but 3 or 4 IEPs.
3 or 4 IEPs, you get that money for, and I'm living check to check, that extra whatever.
I dig it.
So I'm not.
I didn't even know that was an issue. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing like that.
When I was an attendance counselor for DCPS, and when I was in executive support for National Children's Center, the word of the day was misdiagnosis.
Yeah, it's happening a lot.
And misdiagnosis leads to financial windfalls for a variety of people in the chain.
Special education is big money.
Even you actually make money from the mistakes, and then correcting those mistakes over a long period of time.
They're not going to continue to be paying out the money that they're paying.
Yeah,
it's too much money.
I've seen mistakes being corrected over the course of 10 months.
Yeah.
For the tune of like $110,000.
But the other side of which she's mentioning also is that if you are a teacher who has a good standing in the community and with the school, it's incredibly difficult for you to rise up and start having these conversations with people and start shedding light and being AKA a whistleblower about these things that are taking place, because there's no security. There's nothing to protect you. There's only so much that the union can do. The union literally can make sure that the school district follows the certain steps to terminate you. They can't protect you from being terminated. They just make sure that
they cross their T's and dotted their I's.
Listen, so a lot of people got to be careful, man. I mean, we highlighted the Ryan Clark situation on this podcast.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot of people who won't speak up because they don't want to be Ryan Clark.
Yeah, they don't want to get caught. They don't want to get caught up. I'm going to ask you the last question before we jump on to the next subject, bro. What about the school boards? Is there anything that parents being present at these school board meetings and making noise and doing all the things can do? I know that this is a federal ruling. So I know that there's a cap in terms of what can be done, but how the school recognizes it, coming to these school board meetings and making noise, do you think that has any impact?
Well, the one thing is I think everybody has to understand the politics and the ability and power of school boards. Right? You going to a public school board meeting, you're only capped in most cases with 3 minutes to speak. That means you can make a public statement for 3 minutes. But guess what? The school board does not have to respond to you and answer you back in those 3 minutes. It's not a dialogue.
Yeah, it's not in that session. They don't have to acknowledge you at all.
A conversation.
They do not have to.
There are other meetings that school boards have that you can go to have that dialogue conversation.
Response.
You got to find the one that is able to do that. So going to a school board meeting and giving them a 3-minute dialogue, they're just going to say nothing and you sit down pissed off and nothing changes. How much power your school board has depends on the city or the area that you live. Some big cities, like Philly, for instance, the Philadelphia school board is wildly powerful, basically because of the number of schools that they're over, the number of kids. The school board here in Coatesville doesn't have that same type of power, right? It's different. There's levels to that. So there's ways to navigate it. And you actually have to get involved and find out who your school board people are. Run for school board.
Yeah.
Get on the school board.
Yes, indeed.
We talk about PTA. Man, get on that school board.
Yeah. That's where the power's at, my guy.
And I mean,
that's where the power's at.
You can even get involved at the superintendent level.
Yes.
If you want to, you can. You can go. You can take it a step. You can take it a step higher if you want to. You just have to go for it,
bro,
and be willing to.
During the whole pandemic, there were small pockets, these small organizations that looped together that went from school district to school district, getting
Moms of Liberty
banned like it because their voices had weight. Moving the numbers means a lot. Moving the numbers means a lot.
I always say that Black folks are ready to fight, but we are being currently out-organized by the right.
They don't have us outnumbered. They just have
don't have us outnumbered. They don't have us the desire to fight. They are out-organizing us.
Hold on. One thing they don't forget is gathering their support from unexpected and unmined sectors. Yeah. Like they pluck these small unions from these small little towns. They gather their support from here and there, from different sectors of different industries and smaller industries, and they scoop them up and add them to their numbers. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to go back real quick to what Elgin said before we move on. You said you believe that they have a stronger desire to fight. or they don't have a strong.
They don't have a stronger desire to fight. No, I think we have a stronger desire to fight. I think we just don't know how to fight.
I dig it, 100%.